Good day and welcome back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, it starts already. Happy New Year. And welcome to Local
Happy New
Matters
Year.
on your TV, Halton, which is truly local television. And all phone notifications aside, we'd like to welcome you back and thank you for tuning in and thank you for turning. And I'm
I
here. My name
shut
is
my
Mike
phone
Clute. I'm
off,
your
Mike.
host,
I
and
shut
I'm
my
here with the
phone.
co-host with the most, and that ain't no boast. His name is Clark Somerville. Clark, how are you doing? And Happy New Year.
I'm wonderful. And Mike, I had to share this absolutely wonderful picture I had done. I was at St. Joseph's Church in Acton for the bazaar they had before Christmas. And Lara D'Souza, who is an incredible artist, was there for charity, was doing, you'd make a donation, he would give you a caricature. So he did that for me in about 5 minutes. I can't draw a circle in 5 minutes or a box, or the only thing I can ever draw is a duck with a hat. So it was just incredible. But Mike, I hope you and Pat and the family all had a wonderful
Mhm.
Christmas and a very festering New Year. I take that as consent. Yes,
We
he
had a
kind of nodded.
fantastic New Year's. It was first.
There we go.
Yes, no, we had a fantastic New Year. First time in a long time. All four of us were there for the New Year's. So we just sat around watching some TV. We played Clue just as a family game, had a few drinks, and went off to sleep. But enjoyed a fantastic New Year's Eve with the family. So it
Wonderful.
doesn't happen very often. We're always busy doing other things, but it was great to have everybody together.
Now, how's your football team doing, by the way,
And
Mike?
yours was.
Mine is still doing pretty
And
good. They
again,
had a
I'm going to
bye
change the
last week.
topic really quick.
So mine is still in the contention for the Super Bowl, but, you know, being a Chiefs fan, but, my
Like all
Mahomie.
teams in the
I
NFL
enjoy
right
watching.
now, everybody's a contender next year for next season. So I'm going to go with that.
Boy, it sounds
You
like a
can
Leaf
enjoy
fan.
this season and
Sounds like a Leaf. Well,
oh,
they've
good
already won two
grief, no
Super
way!
Bowls.
Don't call me.
See, notice how I throw that in, right?
Don't call
Well,
me
I
one
know
of
you're a
those.
Canucks fan. You are a knucklehead, but no, Mike. Christmas was nice. I did send over to our producer extraordinaire, Chris, that in post production. I sent you a copy of the pictures of me dressed as Santa Claus with little Gracie, who is 7 months old. I was dressed as Santa. We had some wonderful pictures. And this is the granddaughter of Brad Woodside, who is a former FCM president. His first grandchild, their first Christmas with two grandbabies. And then I dressed up as the Grinch. And the look on Gracie's face of me dressed as the Grinch is just priceless. So I sent those over to Chris and he can put them in post production for people to see. It was quite funny. But then as soon as Christmas was over, you may notice the beard got a little lighter, not in color, but in volume. I got rid of a good whack of it. Now it can start growing for next year.
Well, Mrs. Claus, was that a choice from yourself or Mrs. Claus?
Uh,
Usually
you know,
the spouses have a say in how long the beards are.
well, mine always tells me I can grow a beard as long as I don't look like Nick Nolte's mugshot. That's the thing. And then I'll get the one day I'll say, is Pete the barber closed? Say, no, he's open. Oh, has he been busy? No. Do you need $30? And then I know she's really fishing that I need a haircut and a trim. I was actually going to get rid of the whole beard, and she said no, just trim it. So as always, happy spouse, happy house. So I listen to my wife, and that is why I'm sporting the less beard. And I'm very casual. I feel like I'm underdressed compared to Mike, who's almost in a suit and tie and dressed like he's going out to kiss babies and shake hands, or shake babies and kiss hands, or something like that.
Well, there's a leadership
But no, Mike,
contest coming up for a particular, but we're going to leave the politics out of that.
yes, we will. And you know what? It's interesting because it's following along on that. We will leave politics out on both sides of the border, on the Canadian side and the U.S. side. I will say, I watched the Jimmy Carter funeral and the obituaries and the eulogies that were done from the National Cathedral in Washington, and it was just excellent. They were all so very good. It was so nice to see a tribute to a man like that, because that is what public service personified is Jimmy Carter. When he leaves office, he wrote 35 books. He built homes for the homeless. and he's just a very humble, kind man. It was so nice to see the tributes. I think we have a lag because Mike is nodding his head. It's like when you're watching TV live and you can tell that they're waiting for the question to finish because they're there going. So tell me, Mr. Cluid, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? And Mike would be going, and then he'd
I
go,
would be a big
a
stump.
maple.
No, I totally agree with you. The yes, I totally agree with you. The funeral, the eulogies, the stories about Jimmy Carter are just fascinating. I think he spent more public life after his life in the White House,
Yeah.
doing
Yep.
great things for the communities. He'll be forever known as, the Habitat for Humanity and building homeless and doing it to such, up until recently. He was still out
Yep.
there doing work in the community. He walked the walk when it comes to
Yes.
community service. And
Yep.
for me, he'll be remembered for that as a guy who
Yep.
walked the walk
Absolutely.
in community.
Yep. And he was also the guy who deregulated in the US. So craft beer was allowed. So the craft beer industry owes a pint to Jimmy Carter for doing that because he was the one who set all that in motion. So you start thinking of something as simple as craft beer. Well, simple when you go into a store to buy it, not simple if you go to make it. But there it is, something like that. It's like, doing beef Wellington. It's simple if you sit down to order it. It's tough if you have to cook it. But boy, I digress. You'd almost think I'm hungry or something. I digress to dinner time. But no, Mike, and it was great. It was a wonderful Christmas. There were so many absolutely tremendous events. We had I was at the Acton Hillsview Senior Center dinner before the
Mhm.
Christmas break. It was nice, but the nicest thing was that break because the weather was good. There was a bit of snow, it was a bit of cold, but it wasn't too bad because there's nothing worse than when you see a lot of terrible weather at Christmas with the amount people have to travel and with the volume of people out on the road trying to do that as well. And then getting to sit down and watching hockey and football and all the major sporting events. And Mike, do you get caught up in the World Juniors? I don't. I don't get caught up in it at all.
It's a Christmas tradition when Boxing Day after everything is done, we usually get sit time with family and on the screen goes the World Hockey Junior tournament and it wasn't the success that everybody was hoping for Team Canada, but these are 16, 17-year-old kids
The
who've got an
kids.
amazing future and the and this is where I'll criticize social media till the day I die here that the loss to Latvia, the loss to the United States, tough losses to take, but the people that were just the vitriol against these young kids who are putting on the maple leaf,
Yes.
not getting paid for it, and representing our country. Like, come on, like hats off to them. God bless them for it, and they've all got fantastic futures in hockey. And you'll see them again. You'll see them again either next year in the
Absolutely.
juniors they can get there, or you'll see
Yeah.
them in the NHL.
Yep.
Hats off to that team.
Absolutely. Yeah, like people need to put an elastic band around their head and snap the heck out of it. Like these are young kids. They're 16 years old, like you said, Mike, 17 years old. These are ones they are doing it out of pride. They are playing for us out of pride, and we should be damn grateful that they're doing that. Of course, if you ever saw me attempt to get out on skates, you would know why I would say we should always be proud of anyone who can do it because I am ankles McCoy if you get me out on skates. I need those old style skates like they used to show where they had the two blades on each side. That's what I need because my ankles, I'm all over the place.
Well, that's why the under hockey player in my bio it says former, like much former, like a long time ago.
Ah,
But those kids are fantastic. Team Canada was great. God bless them for it, and go Canada, go for next year. And hopefully they can get all that rectified. There's great things that
absolutely.
happened over the
Absolutely.
holidays. I want to make sure that we get this before the break, but the Tiger Jeet Singh Foundation, as everybody in North Halton found know, Miracle on Main in downtown Milton. We did a video on our Facebook page live at the event, and what a great turnout. Over 10, 15,000 people, I believe, showed up over the course of the day, each with new toys. for the bins and to be distributed to the Halton Women's Place, Salvation Army, the local hospitals all over the North Halton community. And do you know how much totally we raised this year?
Oh, let me guess. Let me guess. $47,692.37.
Oh, you're close. We raised over $2 million, Clark, $2 million,
Wow. Well, I was
and
close.
close to 200,000 of that was in food donations alone from places
Wow.
like Cello Fresco, our local Fresco here in town, and
Wow.
another one that came in just after the event. So that's that, and that's in food and toy donations and sponsorships. So an incredible turnout, incredible total for the children and our families of our community. And Tigers sets a goal high, and we got there, and it's just outstanding.
Yeah.
And we couldn't have done it without everybody in our community, the people who came out to the
Now,
events, the sponsors who shared information. Everybody was involved in this, and it was just incredible.
and it's not too often you see a camel on Main Street of Milton. Like it's not too often that you'll see that. Now, Mike, I know we were going to do a tribute to the loss of a much beloved person in Milton. We'll do that after the break because we want to make sure we have the right time to do that. But the one thing I will say, if you ever want to see how distracted Clark gets by a dog, is look at that video, and maybe Chris can put the little clip of that because as we're there, Mike is trying to tape, and I'm talking to a golden retriever that's off on the side, and I was just a complete squirrel moment for me, Mike, as you saw. And then finally, I had to snap back. But the funny thing, as I'm distracted by that, the dog walks behind me. So I was vindicated. It wasn't an imaginary dog; it was a real dog that was there, and it ended up walking over behind us.
But completely distracted you, which was really quite funny to see. But it doesn't take much for you to do that. And while we
No,
reacquaint Clark with the this type of thing, we're going to go on to a break. We'll be back on your TV, Halton, truly local television with local matters. I'm Mike. He's Clark, wherever he is on the screen, and we'll be right back.